We are now live. The live is on. Happy Thursday, everybody who is checking in. Make sure everybody is actually activated before we get started. As y'all coming in, if you don't know how this goes, go ahead and shout yourself out in the comment section. We're gonna get into this. I'm gonna make sure I can see. Instagram that changed up the platform. It's hard for me to see what's going on the bottom of the screen. As y'all checking in, shout yourself out in the comment section. Leave a comment, tell me who you are, tell me where you checking in from. We're gonna get into this as y'all are checking in. The topic here today, y'all see what it is, how to reconnect with your instincts. We got DAACA, DACA, it was good. AB, DZ, Mozart Gates said buckle up, AB, DZ. Yeah, Instagram, well, they just changed the format up. I mean, it's working. They just changed the format on me. As y'all coming in, Facebook, shout yourself out in the comment section on Facebook. Periscope, shout yourself out over there on Periscope, rather. Abdul checking in from Canada. We got Toronto here. We got Central Valley, California in here. What's good? As everybody is checking in, we getting started in like 10 seconds. I don't like to waste too much time on the intros. I'll shout a couple people out. Y'all shout yourself out before I get started. Once I start, I'll shout out people in the end, or I'll answer questions at the end. For those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Dre Baldwin, also known as Dre All Day, former 9-year professional athlete, author of 27 of these right here, these publications that we call books. I'll tell you about these later on, but I've done 4 TED Talks, written 27 books, and I created this whole philosophy, this brand that is called Work on Your Game. It's all about taking the mentality necessary to succeed in sports and teaching how that mentality can be applied to business and life. What we're talking about here today is how you reconnect with your instincts. The reason why we're talking about this is because, first of all, coming from the sports world, instincts are really important in sports because athletes would many times ask me questions like, well, Dre, how do I learn how to do this? I want to do this move in the game. I want to do something like this that I do in practice. I want to do it in a live performance, but in the games I overthink it, or I wait too long, or I don't remember to do my moves. How am I supposed to do it? And something I would tell basketball players all the time, or athletes in any sport, is that when you're in a performance art, you don't need to be thinking about what to do. See, when you get on the stage to perform, or even right now while I'm talking to you, or if you're a dancer, if you're a rapper, if you're an athlete, when it's time for you to perform, you don't have time to think about what to say or what to do next, or even in a sales presentation or a job interview. What you want to do is practice, work on your game enough so that when you get into a live situation, you do the things that you do off instinct. You do them instinctively, and the reason you're able to do them instinctively is because of all the practice that you did before it was time to perform. So it's not that you need to do all this stuff, and then it's not that you're going to do things instinctively without trying. It's not like this is going to automatically come to you like magic. It's because you do the work that allows you to make it look like it's natural, make it look like it's easy. This is one of the things that is expected of you when you are a professional at what you do. A professional makes their job look easy, even though the job is absolutely not easy. So performing off instinct is a really important thing in sports, but also just in overall life and in the business world. Anytime that when things are going good for us, we don't have to worry about performing off instinct. We do it automatically. Because when things are going good for us, we don't overthink things. When things are going well, we just let things happen. It just naturally occurs. When things are going well, everything's working. We're selling our products, we're making our money, we're getting our success, we're getting the recognition and attention. Everything feels great. But when things are not working, when things stop going the way they were going, they stop going smoothly, when the constant pace of success starts to slow up, and maybe even you start having some setbacks, things not going the right way, what happens then is we start thinking about it. I mean, anybody who wants to create success and you're getting the opposite of success, whatever you consider that to be, you're going to be thinking about it. You're like, man, what's going wrong here? What did I do wrong? Why am I not getting the outcomes that I was getting before? Why is everything not flowing smoothly like it was 3 weeks ago or 2 years ago or yesterday? Whatever the situation happens to be, why do I not have the same flow that I had before? There's a reason for that. And what we're going to talk about here today is how you reconnect with the instincts that were just flowing naturally when things were working. When things are working, your instincts are flowing naturally. When things are not working, you start overthinking. Excuse me. You start getting conscious about the things that you're doing instead of letting your unconscious mind control things. Your unconscious mind does things a lot faster and a lot more smoothly than your conscious mind does. Even though thinking is very fast, conscious thinking happens very quickly. Unconscious thinking, your subconscious mind is even faster than that. and you don't have to think at all. It automatically tells you what to do. It's instinct. So how do you reconnect with those instincts so you can get back into that state of flow, back into that state of being in that zone and just allowing things to happen? It just happen kind of naturally. It's not all natural because some of it is based on your work. But how does it feel like and look like it's happening naturally instead of you having overthinking? So today we're talking about how to reconnect with your instincts. So any forward-thinking, growth-focused person who is listening to me here today, sometimes we get caught up in the information gathering loop of, podcasts, live streams, reading books, going to events, just gathering information because, I don't know, sometimes we feel like we need it, maybe because there's so much information out there. Your friends are telling you should read this book, you should listen to this podcast. And what happens is we get so caught up in the things that we're thinking about and the things we're consuming that we forget about our instinctive abilities. Today, I want to help you get back in touch with your instincts. Point number 1. Topic, once again, is how to reconnect with your instincts. Stop listening to so many voices. You can't listen to everybody because everybody is too many people. You cannot consume everything because everything is too much material. You know how many books get published every day? I don't even know how many get published every day, but there's a lot. Probably thousands of books every single day get published. You can't read all those books. Your eyes do not move that fast. Your brain cannot process that quickly. There's no speed on the reading Audible app. If you like audio books or the podcast app, even if you put it on 3 times speed, you can't read every book that came out every single day. There are too many of them. There's too much information. There's too many YouTube videos. There's too many people live streaming. Too many people writing blogs and articles. Too many people posting on Twitter and Instagram. You can't look at every picture. You can't read every tweet. You can't follow everybody. You got to stop listening to so many voices. The challenge when you're listening to so many voices is a couple challenges. One, a surface level challenge is that not everybody even knows what they're talking about. Not everybody's even good at what they're saying. But let's assume that you can handle that problem, that you're able to discern who knows what they're talking about and who doesn't, who sounds authentic and who's not, who even has some credibility that they can say, hey, I've done this and this, that makes you listen to them, and who do you say, well, I'm not listening to them, they don't sound like they know anything. Oh, let's say that you can figure that part out. Let's say you have whittled down the list of everybody down to the people who sound like they know what they're talking about. You still have a problem because there's too many of them, even on a particular subject. Or you want to learn how to play basketball. How many basketball trainers are there on YouTube right now? How many people doing basketball drills on Instagram right now? How many people trying to sell you a program to help you get crazy handles right now? Everybody's doing it, right? You can't do everybody's program at the same time. Like, the gym is not open for enough hours in the day for you to do everybody's program. You can't listen to every single person. If someone wants to tell you how to create a sales funnel so you can sell products, listen, you don't have enough products to create a different sales funnel for every single one of these individuals telling you how to do it. You can't follow every single individual. There are too many of them, too many people talking. And here's the thing, even when you narrow it down to a few people who you think sound like they know what they're talking about, the challenge is, since each one of these people is different, they're all going to have different opinions. Somebody's going to say, well, the best way to do it is you should use Instagram. Another person going to say, use Facebook. Another person going to say, don't get on social media at all. Use your email list. Another person going to say, you should sell products via affiliate sales. Everybody's going to have a different way of doing things, even if you don't know what those things are. The whole point is, even people who know what they're talking about have different ways of telling you how to get it done. And you will get confused if you're listening to too many of them because they will not all have the same ideas. If they all had the same ideas, they wouldn't need to be different. They all be the same person. So you can't listen to everyone because the more voices that you choose to listen to, the more things you got to think about, the more things you have to process, the more decisions that you have to make as to what to do or what not to do when you have all these people in your ear. And the challenge with having so many people in your ear, here's the biggest challenge of it, is that they are all competing with the voice that was already in your head, your voice, and now you got to decide which one to listen to. Now you got to decide which one to follow. Now every time you need to make a decision, you're not only thinking about what you think, you're thinking about what he said, what she said, what that guy with the podcast said, this dude with the book, what he said, this guy at the event, what he said, what your mentor said, what your coach said, what your brother said, what your dad said. You're trying to figure out who to listen to because everybody told you something and they don't all sound exactly the same, but you trust all of them. Which one are you going to listen to? That is one of the challenges that people are running into when they start losing contact with your instincts and understand what your instincts are. That is the internal dialogue. That's you listening to yourself. Not listening to everybody else, but listening to yourself. I talked about it in this book right here, a concept called Through the Bones. If any of you ever I don't know if anybody listening to me is a singer, but when you sing to yourself, all right, even if you don't think you're a singer, if you're singing your favorite song in the shower, in the car, or something like that, your voice sounds completely different when you listen to your own voice as opposed to when, let's say, if you record yourself on a video or on audio, or you watch your own YouTube video and you listen to your voice. It sounds different when you listen to it on the phone than when you listen to yourself talking out loud. Why is that? The reason is, as I talked about in my book, Work on Your Game, when you're listening to something through a phone or a computer or even headphones, the sound has to travel through airwaves, right? It travels through the air. So you listening to my voice right now, it comes out of me, and then it goes into the phone or the laptop or whatever I'm using here, and then it transfers through the waves or whatever. I don't understand the technology, and eventually gets out to you, right? But it has to travel through sound waves to get from me to you. But when you're listening to your self-talk, you can hear it internally, and that sound's not traveling through sound waves. It's traveling through your bones. It's traveling through the bones of your body from the place that you talk up through your brain and into your ears. So sound sounds different when it travels through the air versus when it travels through the bones. When you are listening to other people talk, everybody else, when they talk, it has to go through the airwaves. Again, even if you put an earbud in your ear, I take this little AirPod and put it in here, there's still a little bit of air that this has to travel through to get from in here into my ear. It has to travel through an airwave. But when I talk to myself, or when you talk to yourself, that sound is traveling through the bones, so it sounds different. You need to pay more attention to the sounds that are coming through your bones. That means what you say to you, rather than the sounds that are traveling through the air. That's what everybody else says to you. Now, this does not mean that you don't listen to anybody. Doesn't mean you don't get any information, because frankly, you probably don't have all the information yourself. So yes, you can listen to other people, but you need to narrow it down. What I tell people, whittle down the number of people you listen to about 3 to 5 individuals. Don't listen to any more than that. 3 to 5 people on each particular subject or total that you're going to listen to. Don't take any other information. Don't open yourself to a whole bunch of other stuff. Doesn't mean you can't listen to other podcasts or read a book. But when it comes to making a decision, it should be based on following everything from 3 to 5 mentors, coaches, experts, whatever you want to call those people. But you can't be listening to everybody, okay? Choose your gurus. You cannot listen to everyone, because you will get confused. You won't be able to hear yourself anymore. And then you're going to be stuck in, as they call it, paralysis of analysis, just trying to figure out what to do, even though you got all this good information. Number 2, topic here today is how to reconnect with your instincts. The second thing you got to do is you got to come clean about your internal motivations. I'm talking about your real motivations. I'm not talking about the motivations that you write up on a message board, or the motivations that you tell all your friends, or the motivations that you post on your Facebook page or your Instagram profile. Those things like, man, I want to make it to the NBA and be the number 1 draft pick. I want to make a whole lot of money. I need to get me a nice car. I want to be successful, whatever the hell that means. Those things all sound great, okay? Those are external motivations. I'm going to explain to you what I mean by internal. External motivations are the kind of motivations that you're willing to tell people about. External motivations are the kind of motivations that if you were asked in front of a room of hundreds of people, you tell them what you want to achieve and you feel comfortable letting them know about it. The external motivations are safe motivations. These are the things that you do actually want them. You're not lying, but these are the things you're comfortable talking about because you know, or at least you have some feeling that it will be accepted by the crowd. What I'm talking about here, if you want to reconnect with your instincts, you got to come clean on your internal motivations. What is an internal motivation? Your internal motivations are the motivations that you get when you start asking yourself, why do I want this money? Why do I want to make the basketball team? Why do I want to get this car? Why do I want to be successful? When you start asking yourself that question, what happens is you're going to get a deeper answer. Ask it again, you're going to get another answer. Ask it again. They say, I've heard experts say, you ask this question why about 5 or 6 times to yourself or to anyone else when they tell you what they want, and you ask, why do you want that? And just keep asking it about 5 or 6 times. Eventually what you're going to get to is a core emotional driver. This is your real internal motivation. The core emotional reason why you want that thing. For example, somebody says, I'm asking someone, what do you want? And they say, well, I want to make $500,000 a year. And I say, okay, why do you want to make $500,000 a year? They say, because that will allow me to take care of my family. That's an external motivation, right? That's something somebody could say that out loud in front of a crowd. They don't care, they're not embarrassed. Why? Because it'll allow me to take care of my family and, make sure that I can send my kids to college. Okay, why does that? And then, oh, what else can it get? And I can get me a nice car, and I can live kind of comfortably. I can move out of this trashy hood that I'm in and move into a nice neighborhood. I can take care of my grandma, and I can make sure my family has health care. That's why I want to make $500,000 a year. I say, okay, why does that matter? Why do you want to do all those things? What is that going to do for you? And they say, well, then my kids will have their education taken care of. They can get a good education. We can start living more safely. I can drive to work in style every day in this nice dream car that I always wanted to have. I'll make sure that, I could retire my grandmom or something like that. I can make sure I take care of her so she don't have to work. I can make sure that, all of our basic needs are taken care of, food, clothing, shelter, when I have this money. That's why it matters. And I say, okay, why does that matter to you? Now we asked why 3 times already. Why does that matter? Or is that the second time? Second time. Why does that matter? They say, well, it's because, nobody in my family nobody really took care of me like that when I was growing up, and I needed to be taken care of, and I want to do it for them because nobody did it for me. So I just want to set the example for my family. I say, okay, why does that matter? Now we ask why 3 times. Then they're going to say because. That's what I feel like I should do. I feel like that's what I should do as a man or as a woman or as the head of my family or as a person who's in charge or a person who has goals. I feel like that's what I should achieve so I can take care of the people around me. And I want y'all to understand that when I ask these whys, the answers don't usually come this quick. People got to think about it a little bit. Then I ask why again. Now I'm up to the 4th time. Now, somewhere between 4 and 6 times, I said 5 and 6, maybe 4, 5, 6 times, you're going to start getting to the emotional reasons. That you started to touch on it on that last why. Next why, they're going to say because, that's what's going to make me feel like, I'm somebody. That's going to make me feel like I have really achieved. It's going to make me feel like I really made the most out of my life. And I say, okay, well, why does it matter that you did that? Why does it matter that you got the most out of your life? Why does it matter that you have achieved at the level that you want to achieve at? And they'll say something like, because, that's how I'll know that, I'm better than the people in my neighborhood. That's how I know I proved everybody wrong. That's how I'll know that, I am, I'm a person, I'll respect myself then. I'll believe in myself then. I know I can look myself in the mirror and, really know that I'm worthy. Now you're starting to get to the real reasons. Now, I know it's a long example that I gave you there, but the more times you ask yourself why, or you ask anyone else why, when they get clear on something that they want, there's usually a surface level outcome. As you keep asking why, you're going to get to the emotional outcome. The emotional reason why that person wants what they want. So the next time you look at your own goals, and if you don't have goals that you write out every month, write out your goals for the month of October. Write them out now because October's starting in a week. Next time you look at your goals for life, for the month, for the season, for the year, for whatever you're doing, ask yourself, why do I want this? And keep asking until you start to get to some core emotional reasons why you want what you want. Why does that matter? And this is not something you need to tell anybody else about. This is for you. You need to know what your real internal motivations are. External motivations are cool. The problem with external motivations is those are not the things that make you get out of bed in the morning. You do not get out of bed in the morning because you want to get yourself a Lamborghini, or because you need to make a certain amount of money, or because you want to score 30 points in a game. Now, you might think that's the reason you're getting out of bed. You're not getting out of bed to score 30 points. You're getting out of bed because scoring 30 points is going to make you look a certain way to certain people. It's going to make you feel a certain way emotionally. That's the reason why you're getting out of bed, the emotional feeling. Human beings are driven by emotion. We make decisions based on emotion. We justify it with logic. And this is what I just explained. Somebody decides that scoring 30 points in a game is going to make them feel like an important individual. That is an emotional reason. Now, how do you justify something like that, feeling like you're important? You say, I want to score 30 points in the game because that's going to help my team win. Scoring 30 in the game, helping your team win, is a logical explanation. It sounds great. It sounds very acceptable. That is not your real motivation. Your real motivation is you want to feel important. You want to feel like you're bigger and better than somebody. You want to be able to look in the mirror and be proud of yourself. That's your real motivation. To reconnect with your instincts, you need to know what these internal drivers are for you. What are your real reasons for doing what you do? If you don't know what they are, actually, let me back up. If you feel like you are not in connection with your instincts, it is, I'm almost 100% sure you do not know what your internal motivations are. If you knew what your internal motivations were, you would be in touch with your instincts, because those internal motivations come from your instincts. All right, those are not things that you just decided one day. You know what? I decided I want to be important. No, that's something that was already in you. That existed in you already. You might not be able to language it or express it, but that's the real thing and then you just justify it by saying something like, yeah, I want to score points, I want to make money, I want to take care of my family, I want to get a nice job, I want to get a blue check on social media. Those all sound great. All right, anything that sounds great, like it's a good sounding motivation, that's cool, but that's not the real thing. When you know what the real thing is, that's when things change for you, because you know what your real drivers are. Now again, you need to know what these are. Everybody else doesn't need to know. You don't want to tell the world, you ain't got to tell the world, but you need to tell yourself. If somebody says they want to get a nice car, all right, nobody wants to have a nice car. You know what people want? They want the feelings that come with pulling up to a crowded valet circle in a nice car, because they see everybody seeing them in that car. They want to know what it feels like to ride around that nice car with the music blasting, and they know that this is their car, and it gives them a sense of accomplishment and a sense of importance. That's what people want. People do not want a car or money or a job or to score a certain number of points in a game. All those things come and go. But what doesn't come and go is how you feel about yourself. So when you know how you want to make yourself feel and what you really want to be able to say about yourself and do with yourself, that's when you're in touch with your real internal drivers. If you don't know what they are, you need to get in touch with them, because those are the things that are really driving your actions. Point number 3, this is the last one. Today's topic is how to get back in touch with your instincts. If you feel like you have lost touch with your instincts, or you don't even know what I'm talking about when I say instincts, this is for you, what I've been talking about today. All of it, not just this point. Third point, stop overthinking things. Understand that, as I said earlier, your subconscious mind works a whole lot faster than your conscious mind. Meaning, when you are not thinking, your mind is working more efficiently than when you are thinking. I'm going to say that one more time. Some of you might not have got that. Might have went over somebody's head. Let me say it again. When you are not thinking, your mind works faster and more efficiently than when you are thinking. Now, you might be wondering, Dre, how the hell is that possible? Here's how. Your unconscious, subconscious thoughts happen instinctively, meaning you do not think about them. They are knee-jerk reactions. It's kind of like if somebody took a basketball and threw it at your face, what are you going to do? Do you need to think about what to do? If somebody throws a basketball at you from 5 feet away, or 10 feet away, let's say, give you a little bit of chance to react. 10 feet away, and you think about what to do, what's going to happen? You're going to get hit in the face with the ball. By the time you decide what to do, and then you actually do it, the ball will already have hit you in the face. True or not? You already be bleeding, you have a black eye or a busted lip, right? Because the ball hit you in the face, and the time it took you to think about what to do, then tell your body to move, and then move, boom, it's over. The ball already hit you in the mouth. But if you're not thinking, and somebody throws a ball at your face from 10 feet away, what do? You just move out the way, right? If you're walking down the street or crossing the street and you see a car speeding towards you, and you can tell that car is going to hit you if you don't move faster, what do? Do you think about it? Do you go read a book? Do you go ask somebody a question? Do you go do some research? What do? You get the hell out the way, otherwise you're going to get hit by that car or by that bus. But if you think about it, you're going to get hit by the car, you're going to die. Or you're going to be injured, severely injured. But your instincts tell you, get out the way without you having to think, okay? Your instincts are your subconscious train of thought. Your conscious train of thought are the things that you know that you're thinking about. Like, you know, this is the thought that I'm having right now. I'm Googling it. I'm reading about it. When you overthink, that means your conscious mind is becoming too active. Overthinking is when your conscious mind is doing too much of the work that your unconscious mind should be doing. For example, most of you who are listening to me know how to tie your shoes, right? You tie your shoes every day. You probably don't even think about it. You're probably doing something else while you're tying your shoes. You're talking to somebody. You're listening to something. You're watching something. You're not even looking while you're doing it. If one day you think about tying your shoes, you actually look at yourself doing it. You look at the way your fingers are moving, and you try to think about the act of tying your shoes. Here's what's funny. You'll probably mess up tying your own shoes. You know why? Because your conscious mind is getting in the way. Your conscious mind gets in the way when your subconscious mind is in control. So overthinking is when you're thinking about things that you should not be thinking about. This is the basketball player, for example, who gets in the game and they get the ball and they're trying to decide, all right, which move should I do? Should I do this move that I practiced yesterday, this move that my trainer showed me, this move that I saw Stephen Curry doing, this move that I saw LeBron James do? By the time you figure out what to do, the defensive player already stole the ball from you and you got taken out of the game for messing up. But if you just instinctively react, because you put into practice, you can just do whatever you're going to do without thinking about it. And this is why when you watch TV and you see these great players do these moves and you're like, man, I want to do a move like that. It's not because they just can think faster than you. It's because they're not thinking at all. That's the difference. Amateurs, they got to think about what they do when they perform. Professionals just do it because they have put in so much practice, on top of the fact that they have skill, let's be clear, on top of the fact they have skill and talent, that they can make it look like they're not thinking. They aren't actually thinking, but they put a whole lot of work in when you weren't watching. So now when you watch, it looks like it just comes naturally, when it's anything but natural. Stop overthinking your work. I talked about this in a couple of my master classes. Number 247, how to stop overthinking your performance. Number 200, how people are born confident, but you're taught to hesitate. Think about a baby. Any of you have a kid, or any of you got a young sibling, brother or sister, or know somebody who does. Look at a baby. I mean, before the baby learns how to walk and talk, what do babies do when they want something? They just instinctively react. They don't think about it. Nobody tells them how to react. They just do what they want to do, right? If a baby needs their diaper changed, they cry until you figure out what the problem is, because they can't talk. They can't tell you what it is. They just cry until they get what they need. Or if they need to go to sleep, or the baby needs to be burped, or the baby is teething and their gums are hurting because their teeth are coming in, or what's another thing baby wants? Baby wants a bottle, or baby needs something to put in their mouth. They make noise, or they let you know that they are uncomfortable until you fix whatever the problem is, but it's instinctive. The baby's not thinking about it. They did not take a class on it. They didn't watch a live stream about it. They didn't read a book about it. They didn't get a training about it. They just instinctively respond. This is how we are all born. When we're babies, we all react like this. But as we grow older and we learn how to talk and we learn how to listen to directions and people learn to communicate with us and we learn to listen to them, we learn that we're not supposed to just get what we want. We learn we're supposed to accept no. We learn we're supposed to ask for what we want. We learn we're supposed to be patient. We learn that sometimes we're not going to get exactly what we want. And what happens with some people, actually a lot of people, what happens is we start thinking so much about all the things we've been told that we have to do, that we're supposed to do, that we're not allowed to do, that we start overthinking before we take action. Think about the baby. Again, any of you has a baby or a young child, brother or sister, look at how the baby just reacts whenever they want something. And then look at you when you want something, how you got to think about it. You got to consider this. You got to Google like 10 different things. You got to ask 20 people what they think. And then you think about it for 3 years before you finally do nothing. Why? Because you are overthinking your actions. When you are in touch with your instincts, like a newborn baby, there is no thinking. There is no procrastination. There is no hesitation. There is no, what if somebody doesn't like it? What if somebody says no? What if people go against me? What if somebody hates me? What if people laugh at me? Babies don't think about any of that. They just do what they want to do. And for the most part, they get what they want to get until they get taught that they can't always have what they want to have. And then they grow into adults who can't make a decision. They can't even decide what they want to eat for dinner because they're overthinking everything. Listening to your instinct is like a muscle, ladies and gentlemen. The more you do it, the better you get at it. Listening to your instinct is like a muscle. The more you do it, the better you get at it. People who got big muscles, they go to the gym all the time. People who are sharp with their instincts, they listen to their instincts all the time. So it becomes natural to follow their instinct. And it doesn't mean that because you follow your instinct that everything's always going to work out. But what it means is you learn to not overthink your actions. Doesn't mean everything works, but you're not overthinking things. It becomes natural for you to do what you do. And things in life tend to work better for you because you are moving efficiently. You're not overthinking. You're not being self-conscious. You're not creating awkwardness between you and the world, you and other people, because you are never overthinking your actions. You're just doing what you want to do, being who you want to be, and that's how you end up having what you want to have. All that being said, I'm going to tell you how you can get this publication right here for free in a minute. Then I'm going to recap the points that I just gave you. Then if anyone has a question, go ahead and post it in the comments section. I'll go ahead and answer some questions. So this book right here, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Dre Baldwin, also known as Dre all day, those who came in late. This book right here is called The Mirror of Motivation. This is the first of my books that you should read. I've written 27 books, and people would ask me, Dre, which one do I read first? This one, Mirror of Motivation. You get this book at mirrorofmotivation.com, and here's what's crazy about it. The book is free. All you do is cover the shipping, but let me tell you why you want the book. Why you want to go to mirrorofmotivation.com and get this book free. Let me tell you why. It is because in life, most of you who have listened to me talk for the last 30 minutes, you have goals. You have things you want to achieve in life, and you probably understand you got to put some work in. I got a book called Work on Your Game right here in front of me. If you're not willing to do work, you probably wouldn't be listening to me. So you are willing to do the work, and you know what you want. Challenge is you never ask yourself, who do I need to be? This is the key question you need to ask yourself in life. Who do I need to be? What type of person do I need to be? What kind of energy do I need to have? How do I need to approach life? What do I need to see when I look in the mirror? What do I want people to feel when I walk into a room? That's the question that you need to ask yourself, because the way that you carry yourself energetically will determine what type of actions you take and what kind of results those actions produce. Here's a fact, or we'll call it a truth. When you change your energy, even if you do the same actions you were doing before last week, you will get a completely different set of results because your energy is different. Has anyone here ever had that happen to them? You changed your energy. You got angry, you got focused, you got happy, you felt more positive, you were more optimistic. For whatever reason, you did the same thing you were doing before, and then all of a sudden everything started working. And you're like, man, I was doing the same thing before, but you weren't doing the same thing because you changed who you were. When you change who you are as a person, your actions will produce different results. Have you ever seen somebody doing the same thing that you're doing, but they're getting different results from you? And you're like, how are they getting different results? I'm doing the same thing. It's because their energy is different from you. Whether they're doing better or they're doing worse, it's because the energy changed. This book right here gives you the framework for how you can control that energy. And where you get this book, again, is at mirrorofmotivation.com. It's the title of the book without the word the. mirrorofmotivation.com. The book is already paid for. All you do is cover small shipping charge. I ship this book to you worldwide, anywhere that you live. Now, after you do that, on the very next page, actually on the same page, I'm gonna offer you the Bulletproof bundle, which is 4 of my books on discipline. That's this one. Confidence, mental toughness, and personal initiative. It's called the Bulletproof bundle. You just check the little box on that page, on the same page as this, and you can get the Bulletproof bundle, all 4 books. Then on the next page, I'm going to offer you this book, a hardcover, 250 page. I put my whole Work on Your Game philosophy into this book right here, the best of it. It's called Work on Your Game, as you can see. And I'm going to offer you another book with this. We call this the Mental Game Advanced Bundle. So here you get the Bulletproof bundle. Next page, you get the Advanced Bundle, Work on Your Game, plus the Mental Workbook. And on the next page, we're going to offer you something else, but I don't want to give y'all too many things to remember. Only thing you got to remember is mirrorofmotivation.com. We will take you through the rest. It's the only thing you got to do. Everything else I talk about, we'll show you how it's done. mirrorofmotivation.com. Now let me recap these points real quick and I'll take questions. The topic here today is how to reconnect with your instincts and your gut feelings. Point number 1, stop listening to so many other voices. It's hard to listen to yourself when you're listening to 20 other people. Number 2, come clean about your internal motivations. These are the emotional drivers that are really driving your actions, not the things you say that you want and the things that sound good when you say you want them, but the things you really want, the things that you don't tell people about. Those are the things that you need to get clear on. When you know what those are, then you know why you really get out of bed at night. It is not because you want a car or a job or some money. It's because of how you will feel as a result of that. And if you don't know what that is, then nobody else will know. And number 3, stop overthinking things. In life, when you are born, you're not overthinking at all because you don't really know how to think. You're just going off your human instinct. It's only as we grow older, we learn how to talk, that we start overthinking things. And many people overthink themselves so much that they think themselves through their whole life, then they end up dying, never even doing what they want to do because they spend their whole life trying to figure out what to do. Babies don't worry about that. They don't have that problem. You don't need to have that problem. All that being said, now I'm going to address questions. So if you got a question, go ahead and post it in the comments section. I'm going to start on, let's see if we got any on Periscope. I ain't seen none on Periscope. I don't see none on Facebook. So let's start on IG. Daka said no time for thinking. That's right. Jamar, what's going on? H24 says, we met a couple years ago in South Beach. I have a basketball project I'd like to talk to you about. If you have a couple minutes, follow me. Well, you can send me a DM, H24. Tell me what the project is in your first message. Just tell me, give me a gist of the project in your first message, and I'll tell you where I stand on it. Kyle said, I have a knee injury. It's hurting me, man. You need to go to the doctor, man. Or put some ice on it, depending on how bad it is. But you might need to go to the doctor. Mattia said that hit hard. That's what's up. Brandon said, what you said reminds me of when really attractive people said they only care about personalities and not looks in somebody. I think that's a lie. Well, it depends. It depends on what they mean by somebody. You know, they might think, all right, well, if you're attractive, then they care about your personality. But maybe they're not saying that. But they may not be able to explain it. They might not be lying to you. They might just not be able to explain it that well. Kid Zach, what's going on? G. Core said, train under the conditions you want to perform in. Yeah, kind of. I mean, you can't train for a game, I mean, unless you can get 10 people and some referees in the gym. But it's mentally, not necessarily physically. You can't always do that, but mentally you can do it. G. Core said, rehearse throughout your day when it comes to unconscious habits. Yeah, that'll work. Kid Zach, appreciate you. So everybody, I don't have any other questions. So mirrorofmotivation.com. This is where you get the book. This is where you start at. And for anybody who already has this book, you're like, all right, Dre, what else can we do? What else can we get? I got something coming. In quarter 4 of this year, the fourth quarter, for those of you who don't know, that's every 3 months. So in October starts the fourth quarter. In quarter 4 of this year, we are coming with something else that will be for everybody, but it's going to cover all aspects. So if you're an athlete, you're an entrepreneur, you're a student, you're a business professional with a job, we got something coming where we're going to take all this value, all this stuff that we've created over the years, we're going to put it into a streamlined process. Trust me, it's coming. We've been working on this every day at least for the last month. I've been actually working on it for 15 years, but now we're about to put it in order over the last month, and it's coming in the fourth quarter. Trust me, it's going to be for everybody. Y'all going to know about it. As long as you keep watching these lives, you'll know about it. Muhammad on Facebook says, how do you change negative energy? If life has this negative momentum going on, how would you start making this shift? Well, Muhammad, first of all, life does not have negative energy. Life has neutral energy. Life does not have positive or negative. Life is neutral. It is only our thoughts and in our own minds that we decide whether something is positive or negative. So if you want to change the negative energy in your own mind, what you need to get is the mental workbook, which is the book that comes with this book and the Mental Game Advanced Bundle. You get that by going to mirrorofmotivation.com. Put your information in to get this book for free. All you do is cover the shipping. On the very next page, we're going to offer you the advanced bundle where you get this and the mental workbook. The mental workbook is the book that will help you out. But you can start by reading this. Read this and the mental workbook. I guarantee you we will solve that problem 100%. You will never have that problem again in your life. Mirrorofmotivation.com. Kid Zach said Kobe is someone who's good with that. Well, I don't know Kobe. I only know the stories like most of us, but all right, that's fine with me. Shout out to Kobe. So anyway, mirrormotivation.com. Everybody, we ending this live. I do these lives every single day. The topic is not always the same. Don't know what I'm going to talk about. It's not always the same time either. Just turn your notifications on. If you miss it, you can catch the replay. Periscope, Facebook. Periscope is at Dre All Day. That's my Twitter. Facebook/Work on Your Game. Instagram at Dre Baldwin. I always put these on my IGTV tab when they're done. I put these on YouTube too. So whatever platform you like, pick and choose how you like it. We got it. We got more coming for y'all to work on your game. Everybody have a great day. We out of here. Dre all day.